If you can't pistol squat just yet, then don't worry. This Pistol Squat for Beginners series will teach you the necessary steps you need to take in order to safely achieve your first pistol squat. Stick around. Hey, it's Oskar from GoPrimate here, and in part 3 of this series, we're going to continue working on the basic foundational exercise you need in order to safely achieve your first pistol squat, but we're also going to add in some new things in here. So first of all, welcome to phase 2 of this training. Now in phase 2, we're going to continue working on the necessary muscle mass that will support your knee, but also we're going to start working on that raw strength that you need in order to squat yourself all the way up with one leg. So the main workouts from phase 1 will stay roughly the same, but we're going to make one adjustment here. So at this point you can already perform 3 sets of 50 repetitions of the seated pistol squats with a 3-0-1-0 tempo. So now we're going to remove seated pistol squats from the workout, and instead we're going to start doing ring supported pistol squats. So this allows you to actually train the pistol squat with that full range of motion. So the key things to keep in mind here are roughly the same. So keep your weight on the heel, push the knee slightly outwards, push your hips back, and squeeze the glutes on the way up. Something I want to mention here is that you need to be very careful with swinging with the knee. I don't know if that's a word, but basically you want to make sure your knee stays as stable as possible when doing this, because something I noticed with myself initially and also people I trained initially was that at the very top of the movement when doing this exercise, you might feel a very sharp pain in your knee, and that is because at the very top of the movement you need to be very steady with the knee, so you can't really move around quickly. Instead you need to take your time, perform the repetition to its full end, and then you move your foot or move around your knee, but be very steady with this movement. Something else I've noticed was that this sharpen of the knee doesn't really occur anymore to myself personally, even if I wouldn't pay that much attention to actually keeping my knee very stable. And I think that has to do because there are some stabilizing muscle of the knee that haven't been that developed yet in the initial phases, and therefore a slight movement in the knee will actually cause a very sharp pain. But in the very initial stages, pay very close attention to keeping that knee very stable. So especially when you finish the movement off, your knee is almost extended, this is where you want to pay a lot of attention to that the knee is very stable and that it doesn't move in any direction excessively, because that can cause a very sharp pain in your knee. So for the supported pistol squat, you will be performing this for 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions with a 3-0-1-0 tempo. Now the really fascinating thing with doing this on a ring is that you can very easily adjust the difficulty here. So if you want to make it a little bit easier, all you need to do is to take a few steps forward and lean back even more, and this way is going to be significantly easier. You're going to be having less resistance that you're pushing up against. And of course you can also do the opposites. So if you want to make it a little bit harder, what you do is take a few steps backwards. Now you're in a more upright position, so a more vertical position, and this way you're leaning back less and you're going to be lifting more of your own body weight. So very easy to adjust the difficulty here. Now we will still keep doing step-ups the same way we did before, so 3 sets of 50 repetitions with a 3-0-1-0 tempo. But if you by this point feel like they're getting a bit too easy, then what you can do is slow down the tempo even more. So here I would recommend a 4-0-1-0 tempo, and play around with that and see if that makes a difference for you. And we will also continue with the Poliquin Step-Ups here. So same protocol here, we do 15 to 20 repetitions on each leg. And if you want to go ahead and make this a little bit harder, you can go ahead and slow down the tempo from 2-0-1-0 to 3-0-1-0 and see if that's going to suit you better. And you will do this workout twice per week. Alright, so those are the workouts. Now let's move on to something new. So now we're going to also develop that raw strength that you need in order to squat yourself up with one leg. So here we're going to be using a method called greasing the groove. That means that throughout the whole day you're going to be performing a few repetitions with at least 1 hour of rest in between each set. So let me explain the progression we're using, and then I explain what this actually looks like in practice. So the first progression is going to be a negative pistol squats. So all you're going to be doing here is simply go down on one leg. That's it. And over time you want to progress in doing this slower. So you want to go down on one leg slower. And you can even include a roll at the bottom. That might help you feel more secure when doing this. Now initially this might feel a little bit intimidating, so I recommend you have a soft surface where you do this, maybe an exercise mat or something else that's soft that you can sort of roll over. But the way to progress here is to simply try to come down a bit slower every time. The next progression of the strength move we're going to be using is going to be negative pistol squats with a slight bounce. So same thing as before, but now you're using the momentum to bounce up a little bit. And you don't have to come very high. We just want to work on coming down slowly and then coming as high as we can. So you're going to be coming down as before, then you're going to bounce up and come up a little bit and then crash back down. And that's one repetition. So let me explain to you in detail how the grease the groove method works. So the key thing to keep in mind with grease the groove is that you want to avoid failure. So you never want to do as many repetitions as you possibly can. Instead, you want to do around 20 to 60% of your maximum repetitions. So let's say you can do maximum 5 negative pistol squats and that's your max. Well, in this method, you're going to be doing around 1 to 3 negative pistol squats and that is it, and then you move on with your day. So key thing here, avoid failure at any cost, never go to failure, and have at least 1 hour of rest in between those sets. And I don't think you need to actually even count these sets you do per day, but maybe you do 3 per day, or maybe 5, or maybe even 6. But if you can aim around, 4 to 5 of these sets per day, that will be really good for your strength development. And throughout the weeks, you're going to be collecting a lot of these repetitions, and before you know it, you're going to be bouncing up to a full pistol squat. And when that happens, celebrate for a while, but then what I want you to focus on is to just do the movement a lot slower and rely less on the bounce. And keep doing that, and before you know it, you're going to be doing full pistol squats using the strength of your leg. So now you might be interested in finding out how to do pistol squats to build the most amount of muscle. So make sure you go and check out this video right here that's going to teach you how to do pistol squats for muscle mass. That is it for this video, and that is it for this Pistol Squat for Beginners series. I hope you found this helpful, and if you got some value out of this series and this video, then please go ahead and leave this video a like, it's highly appreciated, and subscribe to the channel for more tips on how to optimize your bodyweight, ring and at-home fitness training. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.